What is going on, YouTube? Today we will be discussing the inspiration behind the second story in my collection, The Crumbling of a Nation and Other Stories. Amber's son chronicles the manipulative recruiting process that results in Amber's 12-year-old son being suddenly shipped overseas to a country he has never heard of. All he has been told is that he is doing his patriotic duty as a loyal American citizen. As a person who has worked in education for nearly 10 years, this story is incredibly personal to me, because I have seen far too many recruiters on the school campuses that I have worked at deceiving and manipulating my students. Students who aren't even mature enough to remember to bring a pencil to school. Students who still need to ask for permission to use the restroom. Students who still have yet to figure out who they are as individuals. Yet every day during lunch, there are recruiters on campus trying to convince students to dedicate their lives to a military that will chew them up and then spit them out when they are done with them. They often search for weaknesses and then manipulate it. Too poor to afford college? That's great. We can offer you a free education. You don't know what to do with your life? That's fine. We will give you a purpose. You want to do something heroic? We can make you into a hero. You love America? Then serve it. It goes on and on. Now, I am not saying that every recruiter is manipulative, and I'm not saying that every person that joins the military has been deceived. What I am saying, though, is that there is undeniable evidence that this takes place. And those are the kids that I wrote this story for. Before I get any further, I'm giving away free copies of my books, The Crumbling of a Nation and It Was Just Another Day in America, on my Instagram. If you click on this pinned video, you can find out exactly how to enter. To highlight just how young and innocent these kids really are, I had made the main character a 12-year-old boy. But this boy is simply known as Amber's son, because at the end of the day, that is something that is so often neglected. The fact that these are kids, and these kids have mothers and fathers. With that being said, here's a sneak peek of Amber's son. There were still 3 minutes left before class was scheduled to end, but the kids were not interested in spending those final minutes learning about mathematics or science or history or English. So it did not matter how loudly their teachers yelled out, "I did not tell you to pack up. The next 3 minutes are still mine. Don't forget to write down tonight's homework. Stay in your seats. Stay in your seats." The kids continued to pack their bags and crowd in front of the door, eager for the lunch bell to dismiss them. When the bell sounded, every door on campus flung open as a mass of children stampeded toward the cafeteria. They were serving chicken nuggets, and they all knew that the lunch ladies gave extra servings to the first 5 in line each day. And that extra serving was never more valuable than on the day they served chicken nuggets. In the front of the pack was a boy of 12 years old. His backpack, which was nearly the size of him, flapped in the wind. He was a head shorter than most, with much shorter strides than those around him. But his legs were quick. As he grabbed his tray and placed it down in front of the lunch ladies, securing his victory, he was huffing and puffing and smiling and looking back at his friends behind him with a pride so immense that it would last the rest of lunch. When the rest of his friends made it to the table, he told them all the story of how he cut the corner sharper than Tiffany's daughter, and how he saw Jasmine's son trip over his shoelaces, and how he was neck and neck with Octavia's daughter for the victory, and how the lunch ladies celebrated his win, and how the chicken nuggets tasted extra tasty because they were so much fresher than theirs, and so on. As they ate, his friends took turns making excuses for why they hadn't been able to beat him on that particular day. Like, Barbara's daughter kept smiling at me in class, so I was too distracted to pack up before the bell rang. And I don't even like chicken nuggets that much, so I didn't even try to win. And I would have won if Debbie's son hadn't kept pulling on my backpack to slow me down. But no matter what their excuse was, they all said to him in the end, "I can still beat you in a race." So he accepted the challenge, and the ultimate race was set to take place on the playground after they were all done eating. But when they went out to the playground to race, he never reached the starting line. Instead, he became distracted by a pair of boys in camouflage suits standing in front of a table covered in plastic bottles, cheap pens, brochures, stickers, and miniature flags as they yelled down at the passing children. "Do you love your country? And are you brave enough to serve your nation? And if so, the United States Army is the organization for you." If you would like to hear the rest of the story or any stories like it, my book, The Crumbling of a Nation and Other Stories, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the TikTok Shop, and Audible. And like I said earlier, if you're interested in winning a free copy, head over to my Instagram. Or if you just want to continue to hear the inspirations behind and the sneak peeks of, make sure to hit subscribe.